Alright, I created this weapon and I wanted to share a tutorial on the ivory material. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Here's the ivory folder for the whole material, and I started here with a fill layer with a color and a roughness, and the roughness has a fill in here with ground concrete burned, and there's also a levels node in here. Then the next one is I just wanted to have control of the roughness, of the edges of the roughness. So here's the mask of the edges, and it's just a fill layer with the roughness channel. And here in the mask is a mask editor with the curvature on the edges mode. The next one I didn't use that, so just a fill layer with just a color, and the opacity is only on at 16. And all these red folders I didn't use at the end. And this one as well is a slight color variation. You can barely see it. This one was for the color in the cavities. So it just it created a fill layer basically for the color and for the roughness, and painted it over the model. And the same thing here. I just I changed the roughness in here and the color, and painted it also across, like on the spots where I wanted it. And let me switch to the basic color again. And here on this folder are the yellow color and the dirt in the cavities here. So in here is the first folder with the dirt. I just created a fill layer, and just a color, a little bit of height, and the roughness is pretty default. And then on top there's another fill layer, and the opacity on this is 24, and here is 45. And in here is a grunge dirt thin, and here I changed the color and the roughness. And the group itself has a mask on it, and it starts with a mask editor with curvature and ambient occlusion, and the curvature is on cavities here. And then I added a dirt generator in overlay mode, and then I painted a couple of spots out. And with this layer comes the yellow spots in here, and I just created a fill layer with the color, and the roughness has a grunge concrete on it, and there's also a levels on that. And the mask has a mask editor. The curvature is on dual, and the ambient occlusion is on as well, and there's a global invert. And on top of that is a grunge brushed on linear dodge, and the opacity is at 18, which creates this mask. and on top of that is another layer with color, with a little bit an orange color. It's the same structures here basically, only there's a dirt in here on multiply and paint as well, and I did a blur as well, and so this creates this mask. And yeah, so the next one is another dirt for the cavities, a little bit stronger and thinner, and just a fill layer, and another fill layer with a mask, and a Perlin noise fractal, and the group itself has a mask editor on it with a curvature on the cavities, ambient occlusion, and there's a dirt as well, a dirt generator with overlay, and a paint layer. So this was this folder. This one is pretty minor as well. It just creates a little bit color variation on these cavities, and this one is for the damaged spots in the material, and here's just a fill layer. The height is in negative, but very slightly, and the group itself has a bunch of generators on it. I started with a grunge leak paint, so that's very intense at the beginning, and then I added a mask editor on the multiply, and I basically used only the curvature on the edges. Then I painted a lot of stuff out because I don't want to get these very deep, intense spots in the material. And then I sharpened it, and then I created an anchor point for the next layer. And this layer is for the roughness for these damaged spots. So I just created a fill, or like a fill layer with the roughness and metallic. And in the mask itself is a fill layer which gets a connection with this anchor point. And then I have a levels node for the roughness as well. So like this is the base material for the Ivory, and I created like cracks as well, which is here, and I just painted these cracks, and then I created an anchor point, and then I blurred it very slightly, and here is just a color in there, and then I just created another fill layer with a lighter color, and here I created a fill with a connection to this anchor point, and then I blurred it a little bit more, and on top of that I sharpened it, and so you get these kind of cracks in the material. And on top of that I created a lot of dirt in the cavities. Yeah, I won't go over that because it's just it's like more dirt and more dirt, and here I created like a little bit a reddish color in the cavities, and here is like more dirt and more dirt, even more dirt. Alright. I hope you like it, and if you have any questions, let me know. And yeah, cheerio, boy.